Hi, welcome once more to Mr. Max. In this lesson, we are going to revise from a calculus section. So, I know that you are getting ready for your final examination, and it is very important to revise the past question paper, especially the latest ones. So, that's why I decided to revise this September 2024. This is a Gauteng province calculus section. This year, September 2024, Gauteng province calculus section. So listen very carefully. What you have to do is first you download the question paper, and it is there in the description below, and you can download the question paper from there, and then after that try to do by yourself. Then you watch this lesson and try to understand. Okay, those who didn't get the answers, you have to watch the lesson and try to understand. Okay, and please don't forget, please subscribe my channel, share with your friends, click on the bell icon so that when I uploaded new videos, you will get the notification of that one. Okay, anyway, we can start without wasting time. First question number 8.1. What is the first question? If f of x is equal to minus 2x square plus 3x, so there is a function given like this: f of x is equal to minus 2x square plus 3x. So there is a function given like this: f of x is equal to minus 2x square plus 3x. And what is the question? Determine f dash of x from first principle. Using first principle, you have to find the derivative of this one. Okay, so I hope all of you are now you already by hearted the formula, or it is very important to know the formula before you write. What is the first principle formula? What you studied? F dash of x is equal to, is it not this one that you studied? F dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x the whole divided by h. Is it not this the formula that you have to apply to find the derivative using the first principle? Okay, so we are going to apply this formula in this question. Okay, so it's a lengthy one. Can you see that there are two terms here? Okay, so it's a lengthy one. So listen very carefully. F dash of x is equal to limit, I'm going to apply the formula. So I hope you already studied this one. Okay, so pause the video, try to get the answer. You know what is the answer you are going to get? Am I right? 2 times minus 2 minus 4x plus 3 is not the final answer you are going to get. Okay, so anyway, so f of x plus h, so wherever you see x, you have to substitute as x plus h. So here minus 2 x square, instead of that x, what you have to type? You have to write x plus h square, minus 2 x square, instead of this x, what you have to write? X plus h. So it is x plus h square plus 3x. Don't forget, instead of this x also you have to substitute as x plus h. Then minus, then I put a square bracket to avoid mistake. Okay, then minus what? F of x. Is it not this the same as f of x? So you have to write once more that f of x, this one. So it is minus 2x square plus 3x. So some of you have a tendency that okay, I know this question is very easy, I can do that. Okay, but please don't think like that. You have to write it and try to get the answer without any mistake. Okay, otherwise when you write your exam, you are stuck somewhere. You know what is the answer you are going to get at the end, and you are not getting the answer, then you are wasting your time. Okay, so practice. When you have a question like this, practice even though you know how to do that. Okay, the whole divided by h, that is this one, the whole divided by h. Now we have to, let me start from here. It's a lengthy one. Limit h tends to 0 minus 2. Now it's just an algebra. You have to apply the algebra, expand the bracket and everything. X plus h square, what is that one? X square plus 2hx plus second term square h square. Okay, so I hope you know what is the expansion of this one. It is like this: a plus b the whole square. How can you expand this one? First term square plus 2 into first term into second term, that is 2ab plus second term square. Do you remember grade 10 you studied this formula? We are applying that one. First term square x square plus 2 into first term into second term, 2 into first term into second term plus second term square, that is h square. Okay, so I'm not going much detail about that one. I hope now you already studied that one. Okay, then plus expand this bracket, 3 times x, that is 3x, 3 times h, that is 3h. Then we can expand this bracket, minus times minus, it is going to be plus 2x square, minus times plus 3x, it is going minus into plus is minus 3x, the whole divided by h. Okay, so this is limit h tends to 0. We have to write one more step because there is an expansion. We have to expand this bracket also. Okay, so let's expand. Minus 2 into x squared minus 2x squared, minus 2 times 2hx, minus 2 into 2 is minus 4hx, minus 2 times h square minus 2h square. Then the remaining terms as it is 3x plus 3h plus 2x square minus 3x, the whole divided by h. So what I did here, guys, I just expand this bracket, minus 2 times x square minus 2x square minus 2 times this term, that is this one, minus 2 times this one, that is this one. Okay, so definitely you will get some terms you can cancel. If you don't make any mistake, then you will get some terms to cancel. Can you see here minus 2x square and positive 2x square? So you can cancel these two. Then one more, this 3x and minus 3x you can cancel. Am I right? Okay, so here what is remaining? This is limit h tends to 0, this minus 4hx minus 2h square plus 3h divided by h. So can you say what you are going to do now? Here how many terms in the numerator? 3 minus 4hx minus 2h square plus 3. There are 3 terms. Is it not this h is a common factor? So we can take h as a common factor on the next step. So let me write it here because I don't have space here. So that's why I'm going to write the balance step there. So it is limit h tends to 0. H I took it as common factor. So what is remaining here? This h is gone. I took it as common factor. So remaining is minus 4x. So it is minus 4x. Then h square, I took h as common factor. 1 h as common factor. So how many h remaining here? One more. So it is minus 2 into h. So it is minus 2h. This h I took it as common factor. So what is remaining here? Plus 3. So it is plus 3 the whole divided by h. So here you can see this h and this h we can cancel. So what is the remaining? Limit h tends to 0 minus 4x minus 2h plus 3. So now we can't simplify further. So now what you have to do? We have to substitute the value of h as 0 in this equation. There is no h here. So that one as it is, but this one is minus 2 into 0. H you have to substitute as 0. So what is that one? This is limit h tends, now don't forget, now we are going to substitute the value of h as 0. So don't write h again. Okay, I mean limit h tends to 0 again, there is no need to write. Okay, so what is remaining? Minus 4x, then 2 into 0 is 0, that one is gone. Then there is an additional, don't forget that one, there is an additional plus 3. So what is the answer? Minus 4x plus 3. Is not that the answer using rule? 2 into 2 is minus 4x plus 3. So that's the answer. So our answer is correct. Okay, so that is question number 8.1. Now let's move to question number 8.2. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 8.2. What is that question? Given f of x is equal to, so there is a function given f of x is equal to 3x square divided by 2 minus 24 square root of x. So there is a function given like this, 3x square minus 24 square root of x. And what you have to do? You have to find f dash of 9. So normally question is they will ask find the derivative f dash of x. But here there is, what is the question? F dash of 9. Don't forget that one. How many marks for this question? 5 marks. So what you have to do? First you have to find f dash of x. Then you have to substitute the value of x as 9. Do you understand? Okay. So anyway, so here square root of x, first you have to write that one in exponential form. So let me write one more step. F of x is equal to, let me write it like this, 3 over 2 x square. Is it not that the same as 3x square divided by 2? That's the same as 3 over 2 x square. Okay, then minus 24 into square root of x. I hope you know that is the same as x raised to 1 over 2. Square root of x, that you can write x raised to 1 over 2. Okay, so now we can start deriving this one. Okay, so how can you derive this one? I hope you already studied this one. Okay, so what is the formula? If it is x raised to n, okay, f of x is equal to x raised to n, then how can I find f dash of x or f prime of x? This n you have to write it here, n times x raised to 1 less than this n, that is n minus 1. I hope all of you know that one now. Okay, so similarly here we can apply. So f dash of x is equal to 3 over 2 is there as a number, then times x square. How can you, what is the derivative? 2x raised to 2 minus 1. Is it not that 1? Okay, so I'm not going to write more steps. So 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1, that is 1. Then minus this half, when we derive this half, I am supposed to write it here. So it is 24 times, this 24 times 1 over 2 into x raised to half. So how can I derive this 1 over 2? I have to write it here. Then x raised to 1 over 2 minus 1. 1 less than this half. That is 1 over 2 minus 1. Check in your calculator, what is 1 over 2 minus 1? Is it not minus half? Okay. So it is x raised to minus half. This 1 over 2 minus 1 is this minus half. Okay. So 1 over 2 into x raised to 1 minus half. So now look at this one. This positive 2, then this positive 2, numerator denominator you can cancel. So f dash of x is equal to, what is remaining now? This 3 times x raised to 1. X raised to 1 is the same as x. So it is 3 times x, that is 3x. This 2 and this 2 cancel. Okay. Then can you cancel this 24 and 2? 2 and 24 is going to be 12. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So it is minus 12 x raised to minus half. Am I right? Okay. So actually, you know, in small classes you studied, when you study exponential rule, a raised to minus n. How can you write this as a positive exponent? 1 divided by a raised to positive n. Am I right? Similarly, x raised to minus half. How can I write this minus half as a positive exponent? 1 divided by x raised to positive half. Am I right? Okay. So here I'm going to apply that exponential rule, that is f dash of x is equal to 3x minus 12, then this x raised to minus half, 1 divided by x raised to positive half. Am I right? Okay. So you can write one more step, f dash of x is equal to 3x minus 12 divided by 12 times 1 is 12. X raised to half, is not that the square root of x? Okay. So that is square root of x. So guys, listen here. I wrote all these steps, okay, because for you to understand, those who didn't understand, if I can write it like this from here, maybe after this step I can write this step, okay, but this one I wrote it for you to understand, those who didn't understand, okay. So when you write your exam, it is not compulsory to write all these steps, okay, but you have to write at least one or two steps. For the simplification there is 1 mark, okay. So if you can write like this, then it is better, okay, without writing all these blah 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 steps, okay. Now, but what is our question? Look at the question once more. We got f dash of x, but that is not our question. What is our question? F dash of 9. Am I right? Instead of this x, you have to substitute as 9. So therefore, f dash of 9. That means here instead of this x, I am going to substitute as 9. So what is that one? 3 times 9 minus 12 divided by square root of 9. Okay, so here I am going to take only the positive values, okay. So here what is 3 times 9? 27 minus square root of 9, we know that it is 3. So what is 12 divided by 3? It is 4. Square root of 9 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 27 minus 4. So what is answer? 23. So the answer of f dash of 9 is 23. So it's 5 mark question, okay. So that is question number 8.2. Now let's move to question number 8.3. Question number 8.3. Please pause the video, read the question, try to find the answer by yourself, okay. Then after that, watch this one, okay. So what is the question? A function g of x is equal to ax square plus b by x. So there is a function g of x is given, and what is that function? Ax square plus b over x. This is not 6, it's b, okay. B over x has a minimum value at a x is equal to 4. So they are saying that there is a function g of x like this, and this function has a minimum value at a x is equal to 4. The function value at a x is equal to, the function value at x is equal to 4 is 96. And also one more condition given, the function value of x is equal to 4 is 96. Okay, let's hold on that one there. Let's look at the first sentence. This function g of x has a minimum value at x is equal to 4. So when can you say that a function, when a function has a minimum value, what you can say, what you studied in your class? So it's a function, it's a graph or whatever things in your class, maybe you studied like this. At the turning points, what is first derivative? This is assume that this is f of x. Okay, so at this turning point, this is the maximum turning point, am I right? And this is the minimum turning point. And what you studied at the turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. And here this one is maximum turning point, and that turning point also first derivative is equal to 0. Am I right, guys? Okay, so this is the minimum turning point and this is the maximum turning point, okay. And here in this question they are saying that this function g of x is equal to ax square plus b of x has a minimum value at x is equal to 4. So it means that assume that this is our g of x, okay. So this is our g of x. This function is our g of x function, has a minimum value. Which one is the minimum value? Is it this one or this one? Of course, this is the minimum value, am I right? Minimum turning point, okay. At this minimum turning point, they are saying that the value of x is equal to 4, okay. At this minimum point, turning point, they are saying that the value of x is equal to 4. That is the meaning of the first sentence, okay. Look at the first sentence once more. A function g of x is equal to this one has a minimum value. What is the minimum value of this function? That is g of x, okay. Doesn't matter, don't worry about this x square, okay. If I cross multiply this one, x into x squared is what? X cube. That means it's a cubic function, okay. So this is a cubic graph, and what is the minimum value? This point is the minimum value. At that point, what is the x value? 4, okay. And is it not this minimum point is a turning point also? And at the turning point, what you studied, I just explained before, At this turning point, what is g dash of x? G dash of x is equal to 0. Even here also g dash of x is 0. Minimum, maximum and a minimum first derivative is equal to 0. That is what you studied. Am I right? Okay. So at this point, we know that the first derivative is equal to 0. Okay. Now look at our question. Is not this one g of x given? G of x is given like this. Okay, so anyway, we can find the first derivative. Okay, before finding the first derivative, let me take this x to the numerator. So what is that one? G of x is equal to ax square plus b times x raised to minus 1. Did you understand that step? This x raised to positive 1, that positive 1 on the numerator, it is x raised to minus 1. Okay, first we can find the first derivative. So what we can say, at this minimum point the first derivative is equal to 0. So first we know that the first derivative is equal to 0 at minimum. Okay, so what is the first derivative? First derivative is equal to 0. Why we can write it like this? Because that is a minimum point condition. First derivative is equal to 0. So first derivative is equal to 0. It implies that what is the first derivative? We have to find the derivative of this one. We have to find the derivative of this equation. What is that one? 2 into a. That is 2a x raised to 1 less than 2. That is 1. I hope you already studied the derivative. Okay. Then this minus 1 you have to multiply here. Minus 1 into b. That is minus b x raised to 1 less than minus 1. Minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. That is minus 2. So 2a into x raised to 1 minus b into x raised to minus 2. That is our first derivative, and what we can say, at a minimum first derivative is equal to 0. So it means that this is our first derivative and that one is equal to 0. Okay, at a minimum point first derivative is equal to 0. This is first derivative is equal to 0 implies that this is our first derivative. So that one is equal to 0. Now we have to simplify this one. So this is 2ax minus, let me write this one as b divided by x square, positive x raised to positive 2 is equal to 0. There is no need, if you can directly substitute. Anyway, we are going to substitute the x value. We know at this turning point what is the x value given in the question. We know that the value of x is 4. So what I am going to do is, here this is the derivative is equal to 0 and we know that at that turning point the value of x is 4. Okay, so I am going to substitute x is equal to 4, because now I know that at that turning point, at this turning point, what is the x value? X value is 4. Am I right? Is given in the question. Okay, so here what we can do, we can substitute the value of x as 4. 2a times 4 minus b divided by x square, 4 square is equal to 0. What is 2a times 4? 2 times 4 is 8. So it is 8a minus b over 4 square is 16 is equal to 0. So we have to simplify that one and make it as one equation. Okay, so 16 times 8, I don't know, 128. So 16 times 8, 128a minus this b divided by 16 is equal to 0. In effect, I took the LCM, that's all. Okay, 16 times 8 is 128a minus b divided by 16, or take the LCM as 16. 16 divided by 1 is 16. That 16 times numerator. 16 times 8a is 128a. 16 divided by 16 is 1. 1 times b. Okay, in effect we are doing the same thing. Okay, and there is no need to write, it's not compulsory to write all these steps when you write your exam. Okay, if you can avoid, but don't make mistake, but if you can avoid by practice, then it is better. Okay, so this 16, if I multiply with this 0, numerator denominator, on the other side it is multiplication numerator. 16 times 0 is 0. So what is the answer now? 128a minus b is equal to 0. You understand? Okay, so let me call that as equation number 1. So what is my first equation? 128 minus b is equal to 0. So let me write that equation somewhere here. My first equation is 128a minus b is equal to 0. This is my first equation. I just wrote it there. Okay, so those who didn't write this up to here, please pause the video and write here. Okay, so what we got here, we got an equation 128a minus b is equal to 0. Okay, so let me erase this part for now. How many marks for that question? 6 marks. Okay, so it means that you have to write something there, then only you will get the answer. Okay, so the equation that we got is 128a minus b is equal to 0. I call that one as equation number 1. Okay, now look at the second sentence now. What is the second sentence? The function value at x is equal to 4 is 96. So now they are saying that the function value of x is equal to 4 is 96. What is the meaning of that? It means that this is our function. Am I right? So when you substitute the value of x as 4, they are saying that the function value you are going to get it as 96. What I said, when you substitute the value of x as 4, the answer is going to get us 96. So let me substitute the value of x as 4 here directly. A into 4 square plus b divided by 4, x I substitute at 4. So after I substitute the function x is equal to 4, what is the function value g of x? They are saying that the value is 96. Read the sentence once more. This is the meaning of that sentence. The function value at x is equal to 4 is 96. That means in this function, when you substitute the value of x as 4, the answer you are going to get is 96. So let's simplify this one. 4 squared is 16. So it is 16a plus b by 4 is equal to 96. Cross multiply. Take the LCM. Okay. 4 into 16 is 64. A plus b the whole divided by 4 is equal to 96. Let's cross multiply this one. 96 times 4. Okay. So 64a plus b is equal to, what is 96 times 4? 96 times 4, 384. So it is 384. So I got another equation here. 64a plus b is equal to 384. So let me call that as equation number 2. So here we have another equation. 64a plus b is equal to 384. That is our second equation. So we got two equations now. First one is 128 minus b is equal to 0, and the second one is 64a plus b is equal to 384. Okay. Now we can take that two equation. In effect, what is the question? We didn't read the question yet. What is the question? We have to find what? Calculate the values of a and b. So we have to simultaneously solve this one and try to find the values of a and b. So how can we find these two? How can you find the value of a and b in this equation? So 128a minus b is equal to 0, and the second one is 64a plus b is equal to 384. This is our equation number 1 and this is our equation number 2. Okay. So how can you find easily? So here we have to find, there are different substitution method, elimination method. You are the one supposed to decide which one we can apply in this question, so that I can easily find the values of a and b. Okay. So here what I am going to do is, I am going to add this equation number 1 and 2. What I am going to do? Equation number 1 plus equation number 2. So what you are supposed to do? Term by term you have to add. So 128 plus 64a. What is that one? 192. Okay. So it is 192a minus b plus b. positive and negative you can cancel, so that one is gone. Am I right? Is equal to 0 plus 384 is 384. Okay, when you add these two, 0 plus 384, equation number 1 plus equation number 2 means term by term you have to add. Okay, 128 plus 64 is 192a, minus b plus b is gone, cancel, 0 plus 384 is 384. So from here, what is a? 384 divided by 192. Check in your calculator. Is it not the double? 2 9 plus 9 18 1 plus 2. Yeah, it's a double. So it is a is equal to 2. So the value of a is 2. Now what we have to find? The value of b. So now how can you find the value of b? Of course we can substitute in the first equation. First equation or second equation. Look at this one. I'm going to substitute in the first equation. Substitute in equation number 1. So what is that one? 128a. Okay, let me write the equation once more. Minus b is equal to 0. Take this minus b to the other side. So it is positive b is equal to 128a. So what is the value of a we got? 128 into what is the value of a we got? 2. So 128 times 2. So b is equal to 256. So the value of a is 2 and the value of b is 256. So that is your 6 marks. Okay, so here you can see first question 4 marks, second question 5 marks, third one is 6 marks. Total 15 marks are there. Okay. Okay, now let's move to the next question, question number 9, the trigonometric graphs, cubic graphs. Okay, question number 9, 9.1. The graphs of g dash of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So g dash of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So there is a function g dash of x, ax square plus bx plus c. From that equation itself, you can understand that ax square is a quadratic graph. Am I right? And what is given here? G dash of x or g prime of x. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? There is a g of x. Oh, sorry. There is a g of x somewhere. There is a cubic graph somewhere, and they find the derivative of that graph. You know that when you find the derivative of a cubic graph, you are supposed to get a quadratic graph, and that quadratic graph is given. So this quadratic graph is the derivative of a cubic graph g of x. Okay, now look at that sentence once more. Look at your question paper. The graph of g dash of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, and h of x is equal to 2x minus 4. So there is another function given, that is h of x, and what is that one? 2x minus 4. So there is another function given, h of x, 2x, that is a straight line. Am I right? Okay, so the equation of this straight line is directly given. What is that one? 2x minus 4. So if you write a equation of a straight line, h of x is equal to 2x minus 4, what is this minus 4 stands for? Yeah, y-intercept. Am I right? So here in this straight line, can you see this is the y-axis? So what is this point? What is the value of at this point e? Y value? It is this minus 4. Okay, anyway, let's see what is coming. Okay, the graph of g dash of x, ax square plus bx plus c, is a derivative graph of a cubic function g. That's what I said before. Okay, they are saying that this g dash of x is the derivative of this g of x. There is a cubic graph like this g of x, and when they derive this g of x, they are getting this g dash of, and that is this parabola given there. Do you understand? Okay, now the graph of h and g dash have a common y-intercept at the point e. So they are saying that this one is the common y-intercept of this g dash of x and h of x, g prime of x, and straight line graph. Okay, that's we we already know that what is the value of e, what is the y value of e, because 2x minus 4, this minus 4 stands for the y-intercept. So at this point, what is our e value? Y value here minus 4. Okay, c minus 2 0 and d 6 comma 0 are the x-intercept of g dash of x. So this is g dash of x, this C and D coordinates are given, -2 and 6. Okay. Now, what else? The point A is the x-intercept of H. So, this is the x-intercept of this straight line. Then B is a turning point of G. This is the turning point of this G dash of X. And line AB is parallel to the y-axis. So, that is another clue. They are saying that this line AB is parallel to the y-axis. These two lines are parallel. Okay. So, now what is the first question? Based on this one, we have to answer the remaining question. Let's move to the first question, 9.1.1. What is that question? Write down the coordinate of point E. How many marks? Just 1 mark. You have to find the coordinate of this point E. Is it not this one the y-intercept? At y-intercept, what is the x value? 0. Am I right? So, x value E coordinate, y-intercept, x value is 0. And what is the y value? Yeah, of course, we know that the equation is 2x minus 4. Equation of this straight line is h of x is equal to 2x minus 4, straight line equation. And what is this minus 4 stands for? Y-intercept. So, is it not this one the y-intercept? So, what is the y value there? It is minus 4. So, it is 0, comma, minus 4. That is the coordinate of the point E. Okay. Now, let's move to the next question, 9.1.2. 9.1.2. What is that question? Determine the equation of the graph G dash in the form of y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. How many marks? 4 marks. So, it means that you have to do something there. Okay. So, you have to find, what is the question here? You have to find the equation of this G dash of x. Equation of G dash of x means what? You have to find the values of this a, b and c. That's all. Okay. So, how can you find the value of a, b and c? It's a quadratic graph. Am I right? Okay. Quadratic function. So, do you know the x-intercepts of the points? Am I right? What are the x-intercept? At this point it is -2, 0, and this point it is 6, 0, and this is a quadratic function. How many different formulas you know how to write a quadratic function? How many different general formulas? Y is equal to, in small classes you studied the normal formula like this, ax square plus bx plus c. This is one formula. Am I right? And last year you studied a formula like this, y is equal to a into x minus p the whole square plus q. Do you remember this formula? Okay. And there is another formula last year you studied, a into x minus m into x minus n. Or in some schools they are writing x minus x1 into x minus x2. Okay, both are saying just a notation. Okay, anyway, what is this m and n stands for? The x-intercepts. Okay, so if you write the quadratic formula like this, what is this m and n stands for? The x-intercept. Here, do you know the x-intercepts? Yeah, it is -2 and 6. Okay, so I am going to use that formula. Y is equal to a into x minus m into x minus n. I am going to use that quadratic formula. Okay, the one that you studied last year. Okay, so here what is m and n stands for? The x intercept. So how can you write that one? Y is equal to a into x minus, what is m? Is not this one x-intercept? What is the point? -2. So, it is -2 into x minus, what is n? The other x-intercept, it is 6. So, it is x minus positive 6. So, y is equal to a into x minus minus is plus 2 x minus 6. So, we got a equation like this. It's not complete. We have to write the equation like this. Am I right? Okay. So, now we have to find the value of this a. So, how can you find the value of a? So, for that I have to substitute any other point, another point in this parabola. Okay, which other point you know? Yeah, we already know that at this point what is the coordinate? That is a y-intercept. So, coordinate is 0, -4. So, I am going to substitute that one here in this equation because that point is also a point on this parabola. Am I right? Okay. So, substitute which point? E 0, -4. Substitute this point in this equation. Why I am trying to substitute there? Because I have to find the value of that a. Am I right? Okay. So substitute y. Y is minus 4 is equal to a into x. What is x value? 0. So 0 plus 2 into x. X again 0 minus 6. This is 2, this is minus 2, minus 6. What is 2 times minus 6? Minus 12. So it is minus 4 is equal to a into minus 12. Do you understand how do you get minus 12? 2 times minus 6. 2 times minus 6 is minus 12. Is it not this one multiplication? So this minus 12 on this side it is, yeah, this is multiplication. So minus 12 on this side it is division. Okay. So it is a is equal to this minus 4 divided by minus 12. Okay. Don't think that why it is positive 12 here. Here what is this symbol? Or what is that bracket means? Multiplication. So when it is multiplication, on this side it is division, or both sides divide with minus 12. You know, some of you have that robotic method. Okay. So divide by minus 12, divide by minus 12, whatever method. Okay. So what is answer? A is equal to minus 5 minus positive 1 over 4 divided by 12 is 1 over 3. So what is the value of A? 1 over 3. But we not finish. So now we are going to substitute this a is equal to 1 over 3 in this equation. Okay. So pause the video, those who didn't write it. So pause the video and write that one first. Okay. So let me erase this one on the meantime. So what is our equation now? Y is equal to a. What is the value of a we got? 1 over 3 into x plus 2 into x minus 6. Now we have to expand the bracket, then write that equation in this like this. Okay. So that is what we are going to do now. So it's a little bit lengthy method, guys, but anyway. So it is y is equal to 1 over 3 into x is x square, x into minus 6 minus 6x, 2 into x is 2x, 2 into minus 6 minus 12. So simplify that one. Y is equal to 1 over 3 into x square minus 6x plus 2. Minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4x, then minus 12. Now expand this bracket. So what is that one? Y is equal to 1 over 3 into x squared is 1 over 3 x squared. 1 over 3 into minus 4. 1 over 3 times minus 4. 1 times minus 4 is minus 4. So it is minus 4 divided by 3x. 1 over 3 into minus 12. Is it not minus 4? 1 over 3 into minus 12. Minus 12 divided by 4 is minus 4. So it is that is this. So this is the equation of g of x in that format. Which format? Ax square plus bx plus c. So what is the value of a here? It is 1 over 3. What is the value of b? Minus 4 over 3. What is the value of c? It is minus 4. Okay. So the equation of this graph, now we know that it is, what is the equation of this graph? Y is equal to 1 over 3 x square minus 4 over 3x minus 4. That is the equation of that parabola. Okay. So don't forget that. Now let's move to the next question, 9.1.3. What is that question? 9.1.3. Write down the x coordinate of the turning point of G. So you have to 9.1.3. Write down the x coordinate of the turning point of G. So tell me, guys, what is your answer? Turning point of G. So do one thing. You pause the video and try to get the answer by yourself. Okay. Then watch this one. So here majority of you are thinking that okay, this is the turning point, and here the question is to find the x coordinate of this turning point. Is it correct? No, it is not correct, because which graph is this one? This is not g of x. Which graph is this one? G dash of x. Am I right? This is g dash of x graph. Look at our question 9.1.3. write down the x coordinate of the turning point of g of x graph, not turning point of the g dash of x graph. Do you understand the difference, guys? Okay, so this there do you remember in the first question I told you there is a g of x graph, and that was a cubic function, and they derived that one, and that is how they got to this g dash of x graph, this one. You understand? But here what is the question? You have to find the x coordinate of the turning points of g of x graph. This is our g of x graph, and you have to find the x coordinate of this turning point. Do you understand? Not the turning point of g dash of x. You must be careful there. Okay, so here at the turning point, what you studied? First derivative is equal to 0. You know, this turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. Here also maximum turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. That is what you studied in theory class. Am I right? Okay, so at the turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. We are going to apply that one here. Okay, so what is our equation of g of x? G of x, previous question we got 1 over 3 x square, that is why I wrote it here. Okay, minus 4 over 3 x minus 4, that is our g of x. Okay, so we have to find the x value of the turning point. So here at the turning points we know that the first derivative is equal to 0. So is it not sorry, this is not a g of x, this is g dash of x. Okay, so at the turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. Am I right? This is also a turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. Is it not this one the first derivative, guys? G dash of x. Okay, so g first derivative is equal to 0 means what? This one is equal to 0. Okay, so first derivative at a turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. What is the meaning of that? We know the first derivative, we already find that one. Okay, so that 1 over 3 x square minus 4 over 3 x minus 4 is equal to 0. That is the meaning of that, because we already find the first derivative. Okay, and at the turning point, first derivative is equal to 0. So it means that this one is equal to 0. Now we have to simplify that and find the value of x. That is the question, or and the values of x. So here what is the LCM? Here it is 1. Am I right? So what is the LCM? It is 3. So it is, that one is x. I hope you know that one. Okay, here also 3. So we can write as it is minus 4x. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is minus 12 is equal to 0. That is the LCM. You have to, I hope you understand that one. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times 1 x squared is x squared. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 is grade 7. Okay, times minus 4x is minus 4x. 3 divided by 1 is 3. That answer 3 times numerator. What is the numerator? 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So it is minus 12 is equal to 0. Cross multiply this one. 3 times 0 is, that one is gone. So it is x square minus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. What are the factors? Try to do by yourself. What are the factors, guys? Minus 6 plus 2. Am I right? Minus 6 times minus 12. Minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. Okay, so what are the answers? X minus 6 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So what are the values? X is equal to 6 and x is equal to minus 2. So here you have to understand like this. So how many marks for this question? Write down the x coordinate of the turning point of G. Okay, so here what are the answers we got? X is equal to 6 and x is equal to minus 2. Okay, so now it's only 2 marks. Am I right? So there is no need to write all these steps, guys. Okay, so directly it's 1 mark for this. Mark allocation is like this: 1 mark for this 6 and 1 mark for this minus 2. Okay, so you have to understand like this: this turning point, this x value and this x value is going to be the same as the x value at this x-intercept of the derivative graph. At this x-intercept, what is the x value? -2. Did you get x value here as -2? Can you see that? Okay. At this point, what is the x value? Is 6. Did you get the x value as 6? Can you see that? Okay. So the turning point x values are going to be x value of the cubic graph. Okay. So from this class onwards, you have to understand like this. Okay. The turning x value of the turning point or x value of the turning point of the cubic graph is the same as the x-intercept of the derivative graph. Do you understand? What are the x-intercept of the derivative? -2 and 6. So here, what is this x value here? It is going to be -2. And what is the x value here? It is going to be 6. It is going to come like that. Okay. So now directly I'm just showing you these steps, but when you write your exam, you don't want to write this one. It's only 2 marks. Okay. So you just check what is the x-intercept. What are the x values of the x-intercept? Here it is -2, here it is 6. So the x value of the turning points are also the same, that one, x is equal to -2 and x is equal to 6. You understand? Okay. So that is enough for you to write when you write your exam. What is your answer without writing? Okay. So those who didn't write, you can just write this one as a note, but when you write your exam, how you are going to write the answer of this question? You have to just check what are the x-intercept. Then you write x is equal to -2 and x is equal to +6. That is enough, 2 marks. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's move to the next question, 9.1.4. Question number 9.1.4. What is that question? So before that, let me write the equation of g dash of x once more. What is the equation we got? 1/3 x square minus 4/3 x, what was that, -4. Okay. Now here this is the equation of g dash of x we got. Am I right? Previous question. Okay. Now here what is the question? Write down the x coordinate of the point of inflection of the graph of g, not g dash of x. So what is the g graph? Is it not the g graph? Now I hope you know that it's a cubic function. Okay. This is g of x graph and they derive this one, and that is how they got this quadratic graph. Okay. Clearly understand the concept. Okay. When you write the answer, directly we can write the answer. Okay. But you have to understand the concept clearly. That is why I am explaining like this. Okay. This is g of x, and when they derive this one, they got the parabola quadratic graph. Okay. Now here what is the question? Write down the x coordinate of the point of inflection of the graph of g. Okay. So at this point, we already got the x value of the turning points. What is the x value of the turning points we got? Here it is -2 and here it is 6. Okay. We don't know what is the y value. Okay. So least bother about that. Okay. So this is at this turning point, what is the x value? -2, and this point, that is the previous question. You remember previous question, the x coordinate of the x value of the turning points of g of x graph. So what are the answers we got? -2 and 6. Now what is this question? 9.1.4. Write down the x coordinate of the, here also you have to find the x coordinate. Okay. Of what? Of the point of inflection of the graph of g. Point of inflection. Which point is called a point of inflection? This is concave down. I hope you studied this one in your class. Okay. This is concave down and there is a midpoint somewhere here. This concave down, this is concave down, changes to concave up. That means there is a midpoint somewhere here. Okay. So that is this midpoint. And that point is called a point of inflection. This point is called a, this is called a point of inflection. Okay. So what you studied in your class, guys, at the point of inflection, the second derivative is equal to 0. Am I right? Second derivative is equal to 0. That is the theory part. Okay. At the point of inflection. What is the meaning of point of inflection? The point at which concavity change. The definition is like this, okay? That means this concave down changes to concave up, and that point is called the point of inflection. And what you studied, at the point of inflection, second derivative is equal to 0. We know the first derivative g dash of x. What is the second derivative? There is an easy method. I will explain that one after this. Both the methods you have to understand, okay? So we don't know how they are going to ask the question, okay? So both the methods study. After this, I will explain the easy method, okay? So what is the second derivative? Is not this one the first derivative? Just find the second derivative, g double dash of x. That means we have to derive this one again. So it is 1 over 3 times x square. What is the derivative? 2x. Am I right? Okay. Then minus 4 over 3. I just write it like that. What is the derivative of x? Or what is the derivative of 4 over 3x? That is 4 over 3. Okay. Then what is the derivative of this minus 4? It is 0. So minus 0. Okay. So there is no need to write that one. Okay. So what is the answer here? First derivative, second derivative, g dash of x is equal to 2, 1 times 2 is 2 over 3x minus 4 over 3. Am I right? Okay. So what you studied, at the point of inflection, second derivative is equal to 0. Okay. So let me erase this one for now. I'll draw it once more. So second derivative is equal to 0. Second derivative is equal to 0. So what is the meaning of that? Is not this one the second derivative? So that 2 over 3x minus 4 over 3 is equal to 0. So we can simplify this one. Take this minus 4 over 3 to the other side. So it is 2 over 3x is equal to 4 over 3. So this 3 cancel. So what is remaining? 2x is equal to 4. X is equal to 4 over 4 divided by 2. That is 2. X is equal to 2. So what is the x value of the point of inflection? X is equal to 2. Okay. Now the easy method. Okay. So this is the cubic function. At this point, what is the x value? It is minus 2. At this point, what is the x value? It is 6 comma something. We don't know what is the y value, okay, but we can find if we want, okay. Then we have to find the x coordinate of this point of inflection. Am I right? Okay. So what is the x value here? So it is very easy, guys. What is the x value here? So I'm going to find the x value here, okay. So x is equal to, what is the x value here? Minus 2. So it is minus 2 plus, what is the x value here? 6 divided by, oh sorry, let me write it neatly. What is the x is equal to, what is the x value here? Minus 2 plus, what is the x value here? 6 divided by 2. Half of that one. What is minus 2 plus 6? 4. 4 divided by 2. It is 2. Did you get the same answer here? Okay. So it means that the x value of this point is 2. You understand? So in effect, you have to understand that this point of inflection x value lies the middle of this x value and this x value. So here minus 2 plus 6. How can I find the middle? Minus 2 plus 6 divided by 2. That is x is equal to 2. That's an easy method. Okay. Okay. Anyway, both the methods you have to study. At the point of inflection, second derivative is equal to 0. That is this method. Okay. There we got the answer as x is equal to 2. Using this method also, we are getting the answer, same answer. Okay. Okay. That is 9.1.4. Now let's move to the next question, 9.1.5. Now question number 9.1.5. 9.1.5. What is that question? So look at that question. Explain why g has a local maximum at x is equal to minus 2. Explain why g has a local maximum at x is equal to minus 2. However, it's only 2 marks, guys. Okay. So listen very carefully this question. I'm going to explain that one in detail, but at last I will tell you how you want to write when you have a question like this in your exam. Okay, because it's only 2 marks. If you are going to write all the things that I'm going to write here, it will take your time. Okay, and it's only 2 marks. Okay, but at the same time you have to understand the real concept. Okay, that is why I'm going to explain like this. Okay, so listen very carefully. How can I start that one? Okay, you know this this is our cubic graph. Okay, at this point we don't know it is -2 or 6, but anyway we represented that one is like this, am I right? -2 here and 6 here. Okay, and what is our question? This question, explain, this is our g of x. Okay, and look at that question, explain why g has a local maximum at x is equal to -2. Why at this maximum, is not this on the maximum point? Okay, why x is equal to -2 is the maximum point, or why x is equal to 6 is the minimum point? That is a question. Why this one has x is equal to -2 is the maximum point? Why here it is, in effect the question is like this, why you didn't write here as a 6, why you didn't write here as 6 and here as -2? What is the reason? Why you wrote -2 here and 6 you wrote here? You understand? That is the meaning of the question. Okay, so now listen very carefully. You have to know some theory part there. This is -2 and this is 6. Okay, so this is our g of x graph, am I right? Now here g of x, is it increasing or decreasing? G of x, the graph increasing, am I right? So when a graph is increasing, what about the first derivative? First derivative is greater than 0. Greater than 0 means what? Positive. Okay, here the graph is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing, am I right? Okay, so what about the first derivative? First derivative is less than 0. Here the graph is increasing or decreasing? Increasing. So what about the first derivative? G dash of x is greater than 0. What is the meaning of greater than 0? Positive. What's the meaning of less than 0? Negative. First derivative is negative, first derivative is positive, first derivative is negative, first derivative is positive. Okay, now at this point what is the x value we have? X value is, let me say this is x value -2. Okay, this is the axis. Okay, at this point what is the x value? It is 6, am I right? Okay, so at this point x value is -2 and this point x value is 6. Okay, so if this point x value is -2 means, can you say one x value before or before this -2? If you draw a number line, this is 0, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3. So what is the x value before -2? -3. So here at this is -2, and what is the x value after -2? -1, am I right? Okay, so try to understand like this. When one x value before this -2 is -3, I'm just giving an example. Okay, before this one -3 and after -2 it is -1. Okay, now come back to our question. Here we have, what is our question? Don't forget our question. Why this x is equal to -2 is the maximum point? That is what we want to answer. Okay, so now let me take a point before this -2. Let me take an x value before this -2. What is the x value before -2? -3. Am I right? Okay, then try to find what is g dash of x. Okay, so look at how I am going to write. For an x value less than -2, for an x value less than -2, for example -3. Is it not? -3 is before less than -2. Okay, so guys listen here, you don't want to write any of like this what I'm going to write in your exam. Okay, this one is for those who want to study the really want to understand this concept. Okay, so when you write your exam, I will tell you after this what you have to do, just like by heart blah 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 blah, you just write, then you will get the 2 marks. Okay, So for an x value less than minus 2, for example minus 3, okay, so x value less than minus 2, I take an x minus 3, okay, then what is g dash of x at that point? What is our equation of g dash of x? It is, we got that one before, 1 over 3 x square, what was our equation? Minus 4 over 3 x minus 4, am I right? Okay, then what is the x value we took as an example? Minus 3. So g dash of minus 3. What is our answer? 1 over 3 into minus 3 square minus 4 over 3 into minus 3 minus 4. I substitute the value of x as minus 3. Okay, check in your calculator what is the answer. Answer for this one. In your calculator, you will get 3, positive 3. Okay, now look at this one. When I substitute an x value before minus 2, for example minus 3, okay, if you don't want to substitute minus 3, you can substitute minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, you can substitute like that, no problem. Okay, so any x value before minus 2. Okay, so what is the answer I got? Positive 3. 3 means what is the symbol here? Positive. So it means that the value of g dash of x, the value of g dash of x, I got it as positive number. 3 means what? Positive number. Positive number means what? G dash of x is greater than 0. Do you understand? So when the function, when the derivative is greater than 0 means what about the graph? Look at this one. When the derivative is greater than 0 means the graph is increasing. Am I right? Okay. So it implies that the graph is increasing before x is equal to minus 2. Before x is equal to minus 2, the graph is increasing. Okay. Now we can take an x value after minus 1. Okay, we can take an x value after minus 1. Then let's see what is happening there. Okay, so let me take an x value after minus 1. So what is an x value after minus, after, not after minus 1, after minus 2. Okay, what is the x value after minus 2? It is minus 1. Okay, so now let me write it like this. For an x value greater than minus 2, for example x is equal to minus 1. Okay, is not x is equal to minus 1 greater than minus 2? Okay, now what about g dash of x? So let me write a g dash of x once more. G dash of x is equal to 1 over 3 into minus 1 square plus 4 over 3 into minus 1 minus 4. I substitute the x value as minus 1 in this example. So what is the answer you are getting in your calculator? It is minus 7 over 3. If you check in your calculator, you will get the answer as minus 7 over 3. So anyway, what is the symbol here? It is minus. So it means that, it implies that g dash of x is less than 0. Minus 7 over 3 means it's less than 0. So when the first derivative is less than 0 means what? What about the graph? The graph is decreasing. Am I right? It implies that, just like this. Okay, the graph is, it implies that the graph is decreasing after x is equal to minus 2. Am I right? After x is equal to minus 2, the graph is decreasing. Before x is equal to minus 2, what happened to the graph? The graph is increasing. So what is the meaning of that? Before x is equal to minus 2, the graph is increasing. After x is equal to minus 2, the graph is decreasing. So what is the meaning of that? That x is equal to minus 2 is the maximum point. Do you understand? So it implies that x is equal to minus 2. What is the question there? As a local maximum at x is equal. So x is equal to minus 2 is the local maximum point. Do you understand? Okay, so this is the concept behind this one, guys. Okay, but when you write your exam for 2 marks, do you want to write all of these things? No. Okay, this is actually the concept. Okay, so when you write your exam, you are supposed to write like this. Just write it like this. Let me erase this one. There is no need to write all these essays. Okay, so you can write it like this. You know what you are supposed to prove? You have to prove that when x is equal to minus 2 is the maximum point. That is what you want to prove. Am I right? Okay, and this is g of x. Okay, so you just want to write like this. When x is less than minus 2, g dash of x is greater than 0. When x, even without thinking anything, we know that this one we want as a maximum point. Okay, so it means that this one is increasing. Okay, so you can write when x is less than minus 2, when x is less than minus 2, g dash of x is greater than 0. Okay, it implies that the graph is increasing when x is less than minus 2. So we done that one. Okay, when x is greater than minus 2. Now the second case. Okay, this is the first case. Second case, when x is greater than minus 2, first derivative is less than 0. Okay, we don't want to prove that take a number and prove that one. Okay, there is no need of that. It's only 2 marks. Okay, so when x is greater than minus 2, the first derivative is less than 0. First derivative is less than 0 means the graph is decreasing. Okay, it implies that the graph is decreasing when x is greater than minus 2. It implies that x is equal to minus 2 is the local maximum. Okay, before minus 2 it is increasing, after minus 2 it is decreasing, therefore x is equal to minus 2 is the local maximum. That's enough. Okay, so when you write your exam, this one is enough. You understand? You don't want to take 1 point before minus 2 and 1 point after minus 2 and prove that. Okay, there is no need of that one. It's only 2 marks. So you just write this one. When x is less than minus 2, when x is less than minus 2, the graph is g dash of x is greater than 0, therefore the graph is increasing. When x is greater than minus 2, g dash of x is less than 0, it means that the graph is decreasing. It means that point x is equal to minus 2 is the maximum point. That's all. Okay, so that is question number 9.1.4, number 9.1.5. Now let's move to the next question number 9.2. Question number 9.2. What is that question? Given h of x is equal to 4x cube plus 5x. Given h of x is equal to 4x cube plus 5x. Substantiate whether it is possible to draw a tangent to the graph of h that has a negative gradient. Wow. What is the meaning of that? Simple question, is only 2 marks. Substantiate whether it is possible to draw a tangent to the graph of h that has a negative gradient. So you have to understand the meaning of the question, then it is very easy. Okay, so look at this one. H of x is equal to 4x cube plus 5x. What type of graph is that? It's a cubic graph, am I right? Okay, so now they are asking, if it is a cubic graph, it's supposed to be like this, am I right? Okay, maybe the shape is not like that, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, when can you say that a positive gradient? What is a possible? Draw a tangent to the graph of h that has a substantiate whether it is possible to draw a tangent to the graph of h that has a negative gradient. So if I draw a tangent at this point, what about the gradient? It is positive, am I right? The tangent is increasing, that means the gradient is positive. If I draw a tangent here, what about the tangent? Is it positive or negative? Positive gradient. Okay, so if I draw a tangent here, what about the gradient? It is negative, am I right? Because the tangent is decreasing, straight line is decreasing. If I draw a tangent here, what about the gradient? It is negative. Okay, so here they are asking you, is it possible to draw a tangent to the graph of this one? This is, assume that this is h of x. Okay, so is it possible to draw a tangent with the negative gradient, or is it only possible to draw positive gradients? Okay, that is what you have to substantiate with the substantiate your whether it is possible to draw tangent of negative gradient. Is it possible to draw a tangent having negative gradient? That is what you want to prove. Okay, so now listen here. If it is like this, if I draw a tangent like this, what about the first derivative? What about the first derivative? H dash of x. At this point, what about the first derivative? H dash of x is supposed to be positive, am I right? Okay, so for these tangents, because the graph is increasing, okay, what about the first derivative? It is greater than 0, and is it not here the graph is decreasing? So what about the first derivative here? H dash of x, it is less than 0, am I right, guys? Okay, so now let's see what is the first derivative of this one. So what is the first derivative of that one? H dash of x is equal to 3 into 4, 12, x 3 minus 1 is 2. What is the derivative of 5x? It is 5, am I right? So the first derivative of this h dash of x is 12x square plus 5. Okay, now look at this x square. Is it possible a square of something is negative? No, am I right? Even though minus 2 square, what is answer? Positive 4. 2 square, 4, am I right? Positive 4. 0 square, 0. Okay, so anyway this answers never be negative if it is a square there. Okay, so it means that x square is greater than 0 always for all the values of k is an element, or this power is an integer. Okay, whole number, sorry. Now this x square is always positive. So what about it implies that, what about 12x square? If you x square is positive, so if you multiply a positive number with a 12, that one is also positive. So 12x squared is also positive. This is positive, so 12 is positive. Positive times positive is positive, am I right? So that this 12x squared is positive now. Okay, so what about if I just add a 5 to that positive number? That one is also positive. Do you understand? So it means that this 12x squared plus 5, here we are saying that always it is positive, greater than 0. Okay, actually what is this 12x squared plus 5? Is it not that our h dash of x? Am I right? Okay, so here what we can say, this 12x squared plus 5 is our h dash of x, first derivative. Okay, so it implies that the first derivative is greater than 0, am I right? Okay, so we are saying that the first derivative is always positive, greater than 0. So first derivative is always positive means the graph is only like this. Do you understand, guys? The graph is not going down. If it is going down, then we can say that the first derivative is less than 0. But here what we are saying, the first derivative is always positive. So it means that the graph is going only up like this, not going down. So if it is not going down, is it possible to draw a tangent having negative gradient? No. Only if it is going down, then we can say that it is there is a negative gradient tangent we can draw. But this graph is not going down. This is when the graph is increasing. What about the first derivative? Positive. Am I right? It means that the graph is going only up, not going down. Do you understand, guys? Okay, so it implies that the graph is increasing. It implies that the graph is the graph is increasing. The graph is an increasing graph. You can write it like that. The graph is an increasing graph, not a decreasing graph. It implies that we can't draw a tangent with the negative gradient. If the graph is not decreasing, then we can't draw a tangent with the negative gradient. Okay, so that is question number 9.2. we have to illustrate that one. We have to explain why we can't draw a graph with the negative gradient. So that is question number 9.2. now we have to move to question number 10. Number 10. The diagram below shows, this is a variety question. So listen very carefully. How many marks? 8 marks for one question. So you can see you have to apply something there. You have to apply this thing. Okay. The diagram below shows the plan for a veranda which is to build onto the corner of a cottage. So here this is the cottage. Okay. This is the cottage section. Okay. So there is a building here. Okay. So and they are saying that this one is a cottage and this one is a veranda. Okay, veranda for that cottage. So here you can see that this veranda is this is a veranda. So this veranda is on the corner of that cottage. Am I right, guys? Okay, so this veranda is on the corner of that cottage, and the name of the the name of that cottage and the veranda, a railing, look at the next sentence, a railing ABCD is to be constructed around the 4 edges of the veranda. Okay, so there is a railing to be constructed on the 4 edges, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so here this one is a part of the cottage, not the part of the veranda, where the veranda is outside. Am I right? Here like this is the veranda and this is the cottage. Okay, so there you have to think logically also. Okay, so here you can see this is the veranda, A B C D E, that's a veranda. Now it is given that AB is equal to D is equal to X. So it is given that AB is equal to DE is equal to X. So it means that this length is X, this is also X. Am I right? Okay, then BC is equal to CD is equal to Y. BC is equal to CD is equal to Y. That means here this one is Y, this is also Y. Am I right? Okay, now what? And the length of the railing must be 30 meters. So the length of this railing must be 30. Total length is 30 meters. So here don't misunderstand that this is also a part of the railing. No. What is this part, FE and FA? That is a part of the cottage. Am I right? Okay. So this is the building part. This one and this one is a building part, but this is the veranda part, okay, and the railing, okay. So here the total length of the railing is 30 meter. That is a good clue, okay. So here what we can write from there, x plus y plus, so that x plus y plus, this one is also y plus this x, and what is the total length given, it is 30 meters, okay. So we can just simplify that one. What is x plus x? 2x. Y plus y, 2y is equal to 30. Take a 2 as a LCM, so it is x plus 2 into x plus y is equal to 30, and what is x plus y from there is equal to 30 divided by 2, that is 15. Let's call that as equation number 1. So we got an equation in terms of x and y, x plus y is equal to 15, okay. Now here x plus x is 2x, y plus y is 2y, take it 2 as a common factor, so 2 into x plus y is equal to 30, divide with 2, 30 divided by 2 is 15, okay. Now what is the next one? Calculate the value of x and y for which the veranda will have a maximum area. So you have to find the values of x and y, and what is the condition given? The veranda will have a maximum area. So you studied in your class, at maximum and minimum, what you are supposed to do? At maximum and minimum, your first derivative is equal to 0. In all cases, doesn't matter it's a length or it's a what a distance or a velocity or a whatever volume, area, okay, whatever, maximum and minimum, what you studied in your class, you have to first find the first derivative and say that first derivative is equal to 0. Even in the case of graph, previous question, do you remember that one? Cubic graph, maximum and minimum, what we can say, first derivative is equal to 0, first derivative is equal to 0, both the conditions same, okay. So not only in the case of graph, volume, capacity, area, distance, there are those who practice that question, do you remember there was a question like this, there is a car traveling from here to this side and Benny was standing here, what is the minimum distance between the car and the Benny? Do you remember that type of question? You can refer the past question paper, okay. So there the distance, here what? Area, okay. But whatever, doesn't matter, maximum and minimum, first derivative is equal to 0. That is what we are going to apply, okay. Anyway, here what is the question? We have to find, look at the last sentence, calculate the values of x and y for which the veranda will have a maximum area. So tell me, what is the area formula? Is it not this one? If I extended this one like this, look at this, let me erase that cottage from there, let me write it here somewhere, this is our cottage, okay, cottage. So if I extend this one like this, okay, so is it not this one is a rectangle, am I right? Okay, but what is our veranda? Not this part, okay. So what I am going to do is we have to find the area, am I right? What is the area formula? Area is equal to, it's a rectangle, so it is length times breadth, am I right? Okay, so what I am going to do is I don't want to find the area of this part, because this part is a part of a cottage. I want to find the area of this veranda only, okay. So how can you find the area of the veranda only? First you have to find the area of the full part minus the area of this cottage part. Do you understand? Okay, so how can I find the area of the full part? This one, what is this length? Y. What is this length? Y, am I right? So area of that part is, area A is equal to y times, sorry, it is times y times y. What is that one? Area is equal to y square, am I right? Okay, so area of the full part is y square. Now you have to find the area of this small part, okay. So look at this one, we don't know what is the length and breadth here, so we have to find that one. What is this length? X. What is this full length? Y. So what is this length? Full length is y. What is this length? x. So from the full length, is it not this one same as this length? This is x. Okay, so y minus x. You understand that one, guys? Okay, listen here. It's a very simple concept. Those who understand that one is fine. Those who didn't understand that one, please listen here. Up to here, it is the length is x. Okay, and what is the full length here? It is y. Am I right? Okay, so up to this length means up here also this length is, what is this length? It is x. Okay, so how can I find this length, the remaining this length? Yeah, total length minus this x. That means total length is y minus this length x. So what is this length? Y minus x. Similarly here, from here to here the length is y. This length is x. This length is x. So what is this remaining length? It is total length minus this x. That means y minus x. Similarly here, what is the total length? Y. Okay, and what is this length? X. That means up to here it is x. So how can I find this remaining length? This total length y minus this length. What is this? This length is x. So what is this length? This is also x up to somewhere here. This length is x. So the total length minus this length. So it is y minus x. That is y minus x. So here it is y minus x. So here also it is supposed to be y minus x. Okay, think about that one. Okay, so this length now we got as y minus x. This length is also y minus x. So what is the area of this portion? Length times breadth. That means y minus x times y minus x. Okay, so let's stop that one there. Then the next area is equal to y minus x times y minus x. Is it not that one y minus x the whole square? Y minus x times y minus x is y minus x the whole square. Okay, so what is our question? Maximum area of the veranda. So how can I find the area of the veranda? Only the total area minus the area of this portion. So what is the total area? Therefore area of veranda. Okay, area of veranda is equal to total area we already got as y square minus, what is the area of that this portion we got? Y minus x square. So it is y minus x square. Okay, so we have to expand this one. So what is that one? Y square minus, expand this one, y square 2 into y into x, that means minus 2xy minus x square, that is plus x square. So again expand this bracket, this minus you have to multiply with all of that one. So it is y square minus into y squared is minus y square, minus into minus is plus 2xy, minus into plus x is minus x square. So can we cancel this positive y squared and negative y square? So what is remaining? 2xy. So let me erase this one. Those who didn't write this one, you have to pause the video and write. So it is area of veranda. Area of veranda A is equal to what is the final answer we got? 2xy minus x square. Okay, so look at the previous that equation number v1 we wrote here. Somewhere here we wrote x plus y is equal to 15. Do you remember? We called that as equation number 1. Do you remember that one? Okay, so from there what is the value of this y? From this equation what is the value of y we can write? How we can write the value of y? Take this x to the other side. So what is that one? Y is equal to 15 minus x. Am I right? This x on the other side it is. So that means we are trying to write the value of y in terms of x. Okay. So here look at this one. Y is here. Instead of that y, what we can write? 15 minus x. So therefore area A is equal to 2x into, instead of this y I am going to write 15 minus x minus x square. Okay, so expand the bracket. So area A is equal to 2x into 15 is 30x, 2x into minus x is minus 2x square, then another minus x square. So what is that one? Area A is equal to 30x minus 2x square minus x square. Is it not that one? Minus 3x square. Okay, minus 3x square. So that is the area of the veranda. But our question is to find the maximum area. Okay, so we know that at maximum and minimum first derivative is equal to 0. Okay, so here derivative of A. So first derivative of the area in terms of x is equal to 0 at maximum. At maximum, first derivative is equal to 0. So how can you find the derivative of this one? This is area. 30x, what is the derivative? 30 minus, what is the derivative of this one? 2 times 3 is 6, x raised to 1 less than this 2, that is 1. Okay, is equal to 0. First derivative is equal to 0. Take this minus 6x to this side. So 6x is equal to 30. X is equal to 30 divided by 6. That is, what is answer? 5. So the value of x is equal to 5 meters. So that is the value of x. Okay. Now we have to find the value of y. Do you remember we got an equation for y? 15 minus x. Am I right? Okay, so y is equal to 15 minus, what is the x value we got? 5. So 15 minus 5 is 10. So y is equal to 10 meters. So value of x is 5 meter and value of y is 10 meters when it is maximum area. Okay, yeah, that's a variety question. Watch, practice that one. Try to watch again those who didn't understand, then try to understand. Okay, the concept is the same, guys. At maximum and minimum, the first derivative is equal to 0. Okay, so anyway, guys, that is calculus section. There are some variety questions we did. I hope all of you understand clearly. Thank you for watching. Keep on watching. Practice maximum questions. So please don't forget. Please subscribe my channel and like, share, blah blah blah, whatever may be. Okay, thank you. See you on the next lesson. Thank you. Bye.